Hello, Forecaster here again, and we are back for episode 48 of the Railcraft server Let's Play. And without further ado, let's continue with the development of this reactor system. So, in the last episode, we just got these bars working, and in this episode, we're going to continue working on this, of course, and we're going to set up the text that we're going to have displayed to the left here and get the shutdown override button on the right here working. So, first off, we're going to head back into IntelliJ, and we're going to have to fill in our on modem message function here. We're going to add another data. We're going to add data 3 and data. Actually, let's leave it like that. We'll have data 1 be, or just data, be the type, the message type or response type specification, and we'll call it update. Then we'll add that. We're going to want to require the serialization library. I think that's what it was called. No, serialization. That's what we want. It's good to have code to reference when I forget things. So when the when data is update, we're going to assume that we are receiving a package containing a serialized table. So data 2 is going to be a serialized table. Unserialize data 2. And we want these. Let's set these to 0 again. And I'm going to copy each of them like that, and then equals, and then data 2 is going to contain some named values, so we'll just do it like that. And that is going to update these. Then at the end of this, we're going to want to call update interface. It redraws everything, updates the bars and such. And then, well, that's pretty much it. So in the reactor manager, we are going to need to fill this out. So let's call this update 2. And by that I mean just update. We'll call it update as well. And here we're going to modem. First, let's create some data. Let's call it values. And this is going to be a table. And we're going to have let's see. We want to copy these from there. And then we're going to paste them. And then equals, and then we're going to have values here. Is that not how you did that? Do I define a... Oh, they're separated by commas. Is it... I forget how to define a table like this. Pretty sure I do that somewhere. We can have a look at the floors file. Oh, okay, so the name should not have quotes. It should be like that. There we go. Okay. And then we want to get heat level is from the reactor, and then get heat level. We want that as a percentage. Now, I don't remember the methods, so let's pop back into Minecraft quickly and have a look. So it's get max heat and get heat. Okay, so not... Let's pop back into IntelliJ. Need to make sure I remember to switch the view for you as well. So get max heat and get heat. So that will give us a percentage value. Fluid level, we want tank. We actually have that here. Now, if I paste that in there, we're going to need to move these up. Let's move all the variable definitions to the top so we can access them. So that's that, and then power level, we want to do the same thing. That's this bit. We'll put that there. So that creates a values table, and then we're going to say modem broadcast to client port. Then we're going to need the serialization library here as well. Serialize values. So that will broadcast that to any client that is listening on the port specified here, so 200, which is what this is listening to on, of course. And that's pretty much it. So if it receives a package where data 1 is update, actually, we want to do that. So this should say update on the first parameter, which is data. So it tells the client that it's receiving an update, and then the other argument is going to be the actual data. So what we want to do now is we're going to remove that, and we're going to say modem broadcast on the to server port an update request, and it doesn't need any data for that. so data 2 can be empty because we aren't using it on the server. So I think that's it. Let's leave that on 2 actually. So let's go back into Minecraft. We'll close that and we'll run the reactor manager. Hopefully it doesn't error. It's going to keep printing out stuff there, of course. Then we're going to go into here. We're going to shut that down, and I'm actually going to restart this to clear out the events that have been registered. And then we'll run that. So now you can see that the bars actually represent values or display values. Oh, that's interesting. And which was which? Let's see. The first one is the heat level. So that's the core heat in the reactor. The other one is the fluid level, and the bottom one is the energy level. So if I were to take an empty Lapotron crystal and I'll stuff that in there, it's going to start discharging the MFSU. Now you can see that the fluid level started going down as well because it suddenly dipped below 95%, so it needed to start draining fluid. You can hear that the reactors started up, and then it stopped. So you can see that these bars are updating, which is exactly what we wanted. Unfortunately, you can't really tell which bar is which unless you happen to know. So probably want to do something about that. So this is still discharging. It's almost done. So there it is full. So now this should stop going down. We'll leave that power in that crystal. Why not? So this is currently heating up, which is why no power is being produced. But as soon as it is heated up, the bottom bar should start slowly going up again as power storage fills up. Tank level is kind of fluctuating because it's turning the reactor on and off. Did I not tell this to only turn on the reactor if it goes low enough to have it run in bursts? See, the server is doing stuff. Maybe it's checking a little often. Might want to change that. Anyway, let's have a look here. So I'm pretty sure that maybe I should change this to an AND. Yeah, probably. Maybe. Let's try that, and then we're going to reboot this. Tablet is losing power rather quickly because it updates often, it uses a lot of power. Probably don't want to have it update every second, or you could just turn it off when you're not looking at it. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a way to tell if the user actually has it open or not, which is a bit unfortunate. would be nice if you could tell it to only update when the user is actually looking at it, and then go into standby otherwise. Might need to make a request for such a feature on the issue tracker at some point. This seems to fluctuate rather a lot. I wonder why it's not filling up. I mean, oh, right. I guess it's just pulling fluid when it's... Oh, wait. Right. The actual reactor will turn on as soon as the tank level goes below 90%. Right. That's how I made it. I guess that's fine, because the reactor doesn't really need to run in long pulses. It doesn't matter. It's this thing I'm concerned about. Right. Okay, let's continue working on the other stuff. So, okay, yeah, you shut down. I'm going to shut that off for now. So let's go back to IntelliJ. We'll go back into the client script. So, as for the text, let's pop back in here, and I still haven't fixed this. It's still one off. So we're going to bump these up. So we're going to do 20, 22, 24, 20, 22, 24, to have them properly line up with the bottom. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add something, one for each of these, where I'm actually going to have them at the values they were before, so that they appear one block or one row above each of these bars. And then we're going to say core heat, coolant level, and power level. And then we're going to upload that, start this up, and we're going to start the reactor client. Oh. Well, that didn't work. Oh, right. I forgot another thing. Down here, we want to ignore and ignore. That's pretty important. That caused a little glitch just then, so to avoid that. Okay, now we can reboot that, and we can start the reactor client. Where are my labels? Now I should be able to shut this down, though. We can also do, I'm also going to add a term clear, I guess after the events are unregistered, to clean up the screen. So now if we start that up, shut it down, it's going to clear the terminal. All right. Now, why aren't my labels showing up? So the bars are lined up correctly. They are one row down now each. But the... Oh. I think I made the mistake of using... I can't use fill. Let's shut that down. Might as well put it in the charger. You can't use fill to set text, I think. So we need to use set. And that doesn't have the size. Whoops. Because fill only takes one character, a string with a length of 1, as the last argument. If you want to use multiple characters, as you would with when you want to create something like a label, you want to use set. So that is saved. Back to Minecraft. Grab the tablet there. So now it should work. Apparently, fill just ignores or does nothing. Yeah, there we go. So that's better. So now we can see what the bars are. A little easier. We don't have to remember it. So this should still be working fine. I kind of wish you could see the power level in this thing, other than the durability bar, but oh well. Let's pop back here. We'll decrease this to every 5 seconds to conserve power. Now, as for the text, pretty much want to use set exactly the same. So we'll go back to the planner, and we want this position, which is 3, 2. And for simplicity, we can just do that, and then we can select that. We'll copy the generated fill, and then we're going to put that here. And we're going to remove these two, change this to set, and then we're going to say reactor state and I would like to be a little fancy here. So how many characters is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So if I clone that and then do 17 there, then I'm going to GPU set foreground, and then I'm going to have green, sure. Then, come on. Seriously? There we go. Set the foreground color to green. And then, actually, we probably want to do an if here, actually. If reactor state, then do that. And that should be, say, online. Else. And then we'll copy these. add an end, spelled correctly, preferably. We'll get a red color there, and then say offline, of course. We probably also want to have this contain the state of the reactor. So we'll say reactor state equals, pretty sure we can get that from the reactor redstone port. So let's shut this down. Go back into the Lua prompt, component, reactor redstone port, and then maybe, no? Can't actually get if it's running or not from the reactor itself. So what we're going to have to do is keep that state on the server. So here we're going to have a variable called reactor state. We're going to default to false because that is going to be the state as the reactor is, or as the program is starting. Then we'll just we're just going to send that, and then we're going to add here, set that to true, set that to false. Actually, we'll do this instead. We'll create a function called setState to state, and then if state, then that, else that, that, and then set state true, else set state false. And then down here we want to set state false. Although I guess when the program is not running, it's not going to reply with the reactor state anyway, but oh well. So then we'll go back in here and we'll restart the reactor manager. Have that keep running. Yeah, okay. Back here, we're going to... So now we're receiving the reactor state as well. So reactor state, and then we can use that here. So save that, go back to Minecraft, and then we'll boot up the tablet. And one thing we're going to do is we're going to edit this file and say reactor client. So now we should auto start the client when the tablet boots up. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Okay, couple of errors here. First off, we want to set the color back. I guess we can just do one call there after that loop, and we want white, which is 0, F0, no, F0, F0, F0 is what that is. That should reset the color. Now this, okay, I may or may not have. So you want that to be 18, do we? Right? Wait. That's... Yeah, okay, so that's 1, 2. Okay, so we want the 3. Yeah, I replaced the wrong value, so we want that to be 18, and that to be 18. Right. Now we should be able to go back here, and this text should be in the correct place. There we go. I guess... Yeah, see, now it says online. Oh, changes state quite a bit. Does it update when I click? No, it shouldn't do that. It shouldn't care about touch events at the moment. But yeah, so, also the tablet will be drawing power to display stuff on the screen. I don't know if it keeps doing that when you're not looking as well. Probably does. But yeah, so that's our first display of the status. And of course we could get this from, say, all the way over here. We'll still be able to get the state of the reactor, even when we're well out of earshot of it. Come on. Don't tell me we're too far away for the message to reach. No, there we go. I thought so. That would have been a pitiful distance with nothing in the way even. Now, of course, adding the other ones is pretty simple. So we're going to just expand that, and we'll have this. We'll set this to 4, and then we're going to have the core heat, and then we're just going to append heat level onto there. Although we want to steal the round function from here. Put that there. Let's just move these to above the functions, and these as well, because we might need them later. Okay, so now we have round. We're going to round that to no decimals, and then times 100 and append percentage sign. And then we're going to copy that 2 times. We'll say 6. Whoops. And 8. This is fluid level and power level. There. We'll upload that. Go back here. Shut this down and reboot. And there we go. And power level is apparently 100%. That can't be right. The bar doesn't show 100%. I must have made a mistake somewhere. Yeah, this is not 100%. What does the server say? 79%. Huh. That's odd. Very weird. Okay. Oh, right. Probably don't want to round the percentage to no decimals. That gets weird. We want to round that to... Now I set it to 1 decimal, and we got factors of 10%. But what we want is 2 decimals, of course, to get better percentage value. So there we go, 79 and 93. That's better. Okay, so there we go. Now we've gone 7 minutes over time. So I wanted to get this done at least. So I guess in the next episode we're going to keep working on this, which has been quite a nice distraction, I think, sort of. And we're going to work on this override button. And then we should be done with this, I think. So, with that, I will see you then.